Hey, what's going on? Aaron here. Hope you're doing well. If you're watching this video right now, you might be checking out Ecom Warrior Academy, and you might be checking out Matthew Lepray's program to see whether you should be starting a dropshipping business. Is this a good way to make money online? Is this a waste of time? Is this legit to start off with, right? And how much money can you really earn from dropshipping in this particular program? Okay. Now I'm going to review Ecom Warrior Academy, and you can decide for yourself whether you should be investing in something like this, or maybe there are better options out there. Now, at any time, if you want to get my favorite way to get to $5,000 to $10,000 a month, 100% from home, go ahead and click the link below and I'll send you my favorite strategy straight to your email if you would like to check that out. All right. Now, I've been marketing online for over 15 years. I have reviewed and tried out all sorts of different business models online: drop shipping, affiliate marketing, Amazon FBA, SMMA, all sorts of different business models, courses, websites to make money online. And some of them are great and you can potentially make a lot of money, but a lot of them are actually a bit of a waste of time. You can make very small money, and some of them are straight up scams. So let's take a look at Ecom Warrior Academy to see whether this is a good use of your time, okay? Now, first of all, I want to say that obviously Matt is the real deal, okay? He's not a scam artist, nothing like that. His program is legit. Ecom Warrior Academy is a legitimate drop shipping course, all right? Now, let's talk all about it. I'll break down the details for you. What he's teaching, how the funnel flows, the cost, all that stuff, and then you can decide whether or not you want to get into dropshipping. Okay, so Matt's very experienced. He's from Australia. He's been marketing online for many years, and he has two very successful dropshipping businesses. And what he does is he also teaches the skill set. Now, if you don't know what dropshipping is, all it is you're going to be finding physical items online, right? Usually from a supplier, from a very cheap e-commerce website like AliExpress, for example. And then you would resell it on your own website, which is built around a software called Shopify. So Shopify is a platform, right? And then you would run ads straight to your Shopify store. And when somebody buys that particular product, maybe it's, for lack of a better example, an iPhone or a pair of glasses or a kitty lamp or a fidget spinner or a walkie-talkie or whatever it is, right? Then basically you would buy the product and then you would ship it directly to your customer. They would pay you and you would make the difference between the overall cost of your business and how much you've actually made from revenue. That's all dropshipping is, okay? It's built around selling physical items, and you have to run all the customer service, you have to run all the ads, you have to deliver the product, all that kind of stuff. So essentially what you're doing is you're buying cheaper products on very cheap e-commerce websites, and you're selling it for slightly more expensive on your own website called Shopify. You run ads to it, and then you make the difference in the revenue and the cost, and that's how you make profit. Okay, so a very viable business model, but let's talk about some of the caveats around that, right? Especially in this year. I mean, a lot, in the earlier years, dropshipping was a little bit easier. We'll talk about, some of the problems in this day and age, things like that. And then we'll talk about Ecom Warrior Academy as well, okay? So that's what Matt essentially teaches, okay? So when you come to his website right here, he's got some student reviews here, which are great. Some people have made money with him. He runs things through Facebook ads and Google ads, and that's what he teaches as well, all right? But in order to get access to his program, you basically have to log in here, all right, and basically go through his on-demand webinar, all right? So when you enter all these details right here, you're going to go through, it's roughly about 1 hour, and what's going to happen is you are going to hear his story and all that stuff and how he built his business. And if you would like to get involved, you would basically fill out a form, all right? And if you have less than $500 to invest, then what's going to happen is he's not going to offer you his program. He'll offer you something called the Millionaire Mindset Program, which is a mindset program about how to build, or get more capital to start a business. That costs $49. If you have more than $500 to invest in your business, then you will get a call from one of his members of his sales team, and they will sell you into Ecom Warrior Academy, which costs $4,000. Okay, so it's not a cheap program. It's actually quite an expensive program for a dropshipping e-commerce style program. Expensive ones cost around $4,000 to $5,000. Most of them will cost about $1,000. Anything less than that is considered cheap, okay? So I would say that Matt's program is definitely more on the expensive side. Not everybody has $4,000 lying around. And it's going to cost you a lot more to actually start and run the business. We'll talk about that again later on, okay? Now, a little bit about his program. So he's going to teach you all about setting up your Shopify store. That's the software that you have to pay for to run your entire business. He's going to show you end-to-end how to pick products, which suppliers to go to. So whether it's cheap e-commerce websites like AliExpress, okay, or going directly to people from India and China and sourcing products that way. You're also going to learn how to set everything up, how to do all the listings on Shopify. There's a lot of Shopify training, how to edit your website, how to make it look nice, right? And then how to run ads to your website. Okay, Facebook ads, Google ads, also free social media marketing, okay, is what they teach. So it's a bit of a combination of two things, paid ads and free, which is important. But a lot of how e-commerce and Shopify and dropshipping really works is you need to pay for ads. So you need a budget for advertising. We'll talk about that later, all right? Or on top of the overall costs. And then there's a lot of support, which is what I like about the program, okay? So there's 2 live Q&A calls a month. There is a lifetime Facebook group that you can ask questions in. There's a one-on-one strategy consult with one of his main team members called Stalin, okay? And there's also live calls that you can jump on with Stalin as well. So there are no live calls directly with Matt, but there's somebody on his team that will help you to do that. So the community is really good. The support is really good. 22 hours of training end-to-end on how to start your own dropshipping Shopify business. Okay, so all in all, a pretty good program. Nothing wrong with Ecom Warrior Academy per se. Let's talk a little bit more about dropshipping as a business model, though. I think this is where it starts to get a little bit complicated, and you're gonna have to make your own decisions whether you want to start dropshipping business or not. Okay, so as a program itself, I think it's good. Right? It's a little bit on the expensive side. It's a $4,000 program. Not everybody has $4,000 lying around. They have a 60-day refund policy, but it's an action-based policy. That means that you have to do certain tasks in order for you to get the refund, and you best believe that you're going to have to take a lot of action before you can actually get the refund. Okay, it's very likely that you're going to have to set up your store and all that stuff. You can't just buy the program and 1 week later not do anything, watch a couple of videos and ask for your money back, because that's not how action-based refunds work. You have to take a lot of action, go through probably more than 50% of the program, things like that, build out your store, and then maybe they'll give you your money back. Okay, now on top of that, so very decent. All right, as a program, the support is good. He's got team members that will support you, the live training, the one-on-one strategy consults, the live training calls, all that stuff is great, right? But let's talk about dropshipping as a business, okay? Now, I've had my own dropshipping business as well. This is why I can talk very intimately about dropshipping. I closed it down after 3 or 4 months because I decided that as an online business, the profit margins for dropshipping is extremely low, all right? It's between 5 and 15, maybe even 20% if you're lucky. But most of the time is less than that. You have to spend a lot of money on paid ads because that's how it works, right? You always have to go after the hottest trending physical items like a kitty lamp or whatever is selling that's really hot. Maybe one of those lights that look like balls that hang below your car. Weird stuff like that people like. Those are the stuff that sells the most. It's very seasonal. So and because you own your own store, because people are coming to your store when they buy products from you, you are basically the owner of the product. So if there's any problem with the products, you have to handle all the customer service, which means that you have to either do it yourself, which means that you have to spend hours on customer service, okay, every single day, or you have to hire staff, which means that your budget has to go up. All right, dropshipping is a very expensive business to run because there's so many costs involved with running the business. You have to front the product. Whenever somebody buys it, you have to buy the product yourself first. Okay, of course they pay you, but you still need cash flow to buy the products from the cheap e-commerce websites to send it to your customers all over the world. Okay, you have to handle all the customer service, or you have to hire a team. That's the only way you can scale, which means that the costs go up, right? You have to spend money on ads, at least $2,000 to $3,000 a month to run Facebook and Google ads properly. Otherwise, you can't run them properly, right? Because Google and Facebook, they're very competitive platforms. Now, Matt also teaches free social media, but it takes a long time for you to build up free social media, right? And then the problem is because you're selling physical goods, right? You're selling, let's just say, an iPhone, or you're selling glasses, or you're selling a mug, right? There is a physical manufacturing cost associated with selling physical products, which means that you can't resell a product for too much higher than what it costs for you to buy that product, okay? So let's just say it costs a mug $5 to make. You can't sell this mug for $100. Nobody's going to buy the mug, right? So if you buy this for $5, you can probably only sell it for $10, maybe $12. So you've only made $5 or $7 revenue or profit on top of the mug, right? Now, on top of that, you have to pay for your software, you have to pay for your tools, you have to pay for your ads, you have to pay for your staff. It's expensive, so that eats into your profit margin, which is why dropshipping is a very, very small profit margin, 5 to 20% maximum, which means that you have to sell a lot of product. So for example, if you're selling mugs, you have to sell hundreds of mugs a day if you want to make 10,000 to 20,000 US dollars in profit, not revenue, profit. Okay, and that's the reason why there are very few people these days that are running successful dropshipping businesses. Now, is it a viable option still? Yes, but is it difficult? It's very, very difficult. All right, and there's a lot of moving parts. You have to handle all the customer service, like I mentioned. So, expect to work on your business for many hours unless you're scaling out and you're hiring a team. Which in that case, you're gonna have to pay salaries. Okay, which increases the cost again, right? So, is it a viable business model in this day and age? Yes, it is if you run it in a very specific way, but traditionally dropshipping has very small profit margins, and there's just so many moving parts in order for you to make a lot of money, because you have to sell a lot of volume of products, because the revenue is so low and the cost is so high. All right, so realistically, if you want to get into Matt's program, Ecom Warrior Academy, expect to have a minimum of at least $10,000 to $15,000, okay? Because his course already costs $4,000. You need an additional roughly about $7,000 to $10,000 to run the business, right? You need cash flow to cash flow the products. You need to spend money on ads. You need to set up the business. It costs money, all right? So if you don't have $10,000 to $15,000 as a budget in your savings account, in your bank account, to run an e-com business, to run a dropshipping business, don't start. All right. So it has nothing to do with Matt's course. Matt's course is great. If you are 100% set on starting a dropshipping business, then it's a decent course. All right. It's a little bit on the expensive side, right? But you get what you pay for, right? The support is great. And Matt's very successful. There are cheaper dropshipping courses out there, but again, it depends on you on whether you would like to go this route or not, right? Also understand that the budget is required is big, 10 to 15,000 minimum to get started. So if you don't have that, then you can't start a dropshipping business, and that's okay. All right, just understand that every business model has a specific budget that you need to have in order to start it successfully. Now, can you start it with less? Yes. Will you be successful? Highly unlikely, okay? Because you need time to build the business, right? So if you hear people saying stuff like, oh, you can build it in a month, no, you can't, all right? You have to be extremely lucky to be successful in dropshipping in 1 month. It'll take you a minimum of 3 to 6 months of testing, tweaking, and getting to a point where you're like, okay, I'm starting to really make money in this now, and then you scale, all right? So just be careful, because all online businesses require a bit of testing and tweaking. That's just how it works. You have to tweak your ads, you have to tweak your products, you have to tweak your websites. There's a lot of things that you have to tweak to get it refined to a point where you're generating good profit before you scale. All right, so that's my review on Ecom Warrior Academy and on dropshipping itself as a business model. Nothing wrong with the program. The business model can be challenging though, so I'll leave that for you to decide on whether you want to start a dropshipping business. I think there are better ways out there to make money online these days, to be honest. All right, now if you are watching this video right now and you are looking for a way to generate a side income, maybe you want to start a business, maybe you know that, Aaron, I'm here because I want to start a business online, I just don't know what. There are a lot of different things you can do. Amazon FBA, drop shipping, affiliate marketing, MLM. You can do surveys, watch video ads, all that kind of stuff, right? SMMA, start your own agency. And out of all of them, I've tried a lot of these. I've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars of my own money in these businesses, researching, doing them myself, hands-on, right? And what I found is that out of all of them, there's still one strategy that I love, which I think is the most profitable. You can start from anywhere in the world. It's the lowest cost, but the potential is still very, very high, all right? Especially in this day and age, right now, this year, okay? If you want to check that out, click the link below, and I'll send you my favorite strategy to get to 5 to 10K a month, 100% from home, and you can get that straight in your email if you would like for free, all right? I hope you enjoyed this review of Ecom Warrior Academy, and I hope to see you on another video review. Take care.